Hey, what's up, people? First, I'd like to give a Valentine's Day shout out to Nikki. You're still the girl of my dreams. Don't ever think that you're not. I'd also like to give a Valentine's Day shout out to my YouTube friends. First, give a shout out to Ula or Ala Al Saad. Give a Valentine's Day shout out to B Val Chan. And I also want to give a shout out to Chrissy 1993-ish. I don't know what 1993-ish means, but Valentine's Day shout out to you too. Alright, I want to talk about Derrick Oates. Subway hero Derrick Oates. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of Wesley Autry, the guy who jumped down on the tracks and covered up a man and let the train run over him. He was a subway hero from a couple of years back. But there's another guy who, to me, he deserves a little bit of recognition too, named Derrick Oates. He did a stand-up thing this past week, and the thing is, you wouldn't know about it because here in New York, there was some Russian dude who went on some stabbing spree, and all you're hearing about in the papers is him. You don't really hear about this cat. But he saved a lady named Sabrina Scott, and what he did was, he put his life on the line to save this woman, and it wasn't, here's how it happened. I think it was like early this week, like last Monday or last Tuesday. The lady was walking on the subway, and some dude just ran up on her acting crazy, and she ran from him trying to get away from him. He was beating her up, and she tried to get some other man to help her. He wouldn't help her, but this dude was like beating the hell out of her. And eventually, Derrick Oates just came out of nowhere, and he started fighting with the man. Now, he don't know this woman from anywhere. That's the first time they ever seen each other in their lives. He tussles with the dude trying to save her. She gets hit upside the head and gets knocked onto the tracks. She hits the tracks, and her head hits the ground, because that's like, I think that's about a 6 feet fall. And she's unconscious laying on the tracks, and he's still tussling with the dude. Now, the dude, he stops tussling with the dude gets away. Now, the woman's on the tracks unconscious. He jumps down on the tracks. And now, check this out. The woman's unconscious, which means she's dead weight, which means he's got to pick her up with absolutely no help from her. She ain't got no legs, no arms, no nothing. He has to pick up the dead weight, get her off the tracks, put her back on the platform, and get himself back on the platform. Now, whether he picked her up and just threw her back up on the platform, whether he picked up and then carried her to the back or the front, because there's some steps that you can go to come up like that. I don't know how he did it, but he did all that. He tussled with this dude. He jumped down on the tracks. He got up off the tracks. He said pretty much saved his woman's life, because she was unconscious. She was bloody and unconscious because her head got busted open and all of that. And you don't really hear too much about him, man. But from what I've read about him, he's a 43-year-old he part-time maintenance work at that. I'm like, that man put his life on the line. I suppose the man who attacked her was this Russian guy. This Russian guy's running around stabbing everybody. He took a chance. If that was that guy, that man could have got stabbed. He could have got shot. He could have just basically put his life on the line. But he saw his sister in danger, man. And the good thing is, a lot of times you see the man and the woman tussling, you thinking it might be some kind of domestic thing, and everybody knows you just not. It's kind of bad news get involved in a domestic situation, because you never know if the woman might flip and be like, next thing you know, you fighting with a dude, and the woman's up on you telling you to get off her man. And hey, man, you just don't hear about this guy, man. But that guy, man, I think he deserves props. He's working part-time. He wants a full-time job. And the thing is, when Wesley Autry did what he did, he got all kinds of, he got to be on these game shows, talk shows, all of that. But you don't hear really too much about this guy, Derrick Oates, which I think is kind of messed up. Because in the Wesley Autry situation, the one problem I always have with that situation is that he had, I think he had his 2 granddaughters or 2 nieces. They might have even been his daughters, but he left them with a stranger to jump on the track and save this man. I'm just like, well, hold on now. If he'd gotten killed doing that, he don't know who this. I think he left his daughters with the woman. He didn't know who that woman was. That woman could have took her daughters and tried to sell the daughters or something, So that's always one problem I had with that story, was like, why would you leave your girls with a stranger, to save another guy's a stranger? I'm like, I have to admit, I know that whether I had somebody with me or not, for me to jump down on the tracks and let a train run over me and some stranger, I was like, nah, I couldn't see myself doing that. So, I'll give him he had mad heart for doing that, but I always had that's the part I had a problem with his story. But Derrick Oates, he took this dude on, for all this dude the dude, even if he didn't have a gun or knife, he could have been a professional fighter. Got, that guy could have just beat him to a pulp. The guy beat this woman and threw her on the track. So, but anyway, man, I just wanted to give the guy, and also I don't just want to give the guys props, man. But also, you have to be thankful this guy doesn't watch YouTube, because this guy watched YouTube. Who knows? He might watch YouTube. I'd say the last couple of, I shouldn't even say months. I mean, the last couple of years. If you watching YouTube, even not even just YouTube on the internet. Basically, black women are saying that black women ain't worth shit. And now, if he was a YouTube watcher, he'd probably be like, look, these black women, all they do is this lady was, I think, about 39 or so. So he figured all these black women dudes have babies by no good men, drug dealers, or so-and-so, and then they won't get old and want to stick them. So he probably figured, look, this black woman ain't worth nothing. If you listen to YouTube, even they're saying the black women are the lowest form of women, they're last place, they're basically the worst, the worst brand of women out there. So, if he was a YouTube listener, he probably would be like, yo, I ain't put my life on the line for her, a black woman. Oh, no, she's at the bottom of the totem pole. Why am I going to risk my life for that? And she actually said, he wasn't the first guy that, there were some other people, there was at least one other man who would not help her. He was just like minding his business. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it, even though he could see the woman was in danger. That man decided he was not going to risk his life for her. I can't say what, race the man was, anything like that. I don't think it really matters, people aren't obligated to put their lives on the line to save another person, but at the very least, other people, they could have ran to the token booth clerk and told them to call for help or something. They could have at the very least have done that, but from what I understand, nobody even did that. Everybody's just like minding their business. They didn't want to get involved. So, Derrick Oates, man, I got to give him the big thumbs up, man, and I hope, and he wants full-time employment, man. I hope somebody at least gives him a full-time job. Hopefully his employers, heard about what happened. At least I said, let's give him a full-time job. Let's give him benefits, something like that. But, this is like, this video is kind of like a tribute to him, man. It's good hearing about, a brother doing something for a sister. He didn't know he never knew the lady. He just put himself on the line like that, man. That's a good story to hear about, man. It's better than all this black women bashing and gender war nonsense that's going on. Anyway, I hope everybody, hope their Valentine's Day is like enjoyable, man. They get to be with their loved ones and all of that. I ain't trying to get too corny here, so all right, everybody, hope you have a good weekend. Peace.